Squad, are there requirements and qualifications? And what are those?
Requirements or any training that we have available at that time. I mean, you have to have a 1664-hour basic firefighter course that was adopted by the state in 2009. And the state give each county the option to either opt in or opt out. Anybody prior to that date was able to be grandfathered. Myself, I took the class several years back, but I was also grandfathered. I went and took it. But as far as that, you do have specific training that is, if available, we have it. I mean, if time allows. I mean, I think they've got a 6-month probationary period that they have to abide by. And if we can offer that said training in that 6 months, then they take it. Such as fire training or an extrication class where you learn how to operate the tools, set up a scene at a wreck and all that. As far as the other requirements, we do an EVOC course, which is a driving course. It's got a little written test and does a driving deal through some cones and stuff. If that's during our 6-month period, then we do try to do that. So that answers the question, sort of. You already there.
Okay, so with the 6-month probationary period, if those qualifications are met and it comes time for voting, how is the voting done? Is it based on merit that they did the qualifications, or is it based on a popularity contest when the voting comes?
Upon them coming up for our 6-month probation, they will be a vote to move them from probation to active membership. That is a vote of the rescue squad members present at that meeting. And it is done by simple majority. I mean, the person bringing the member up tells, hey, they've answered X calls, they've completed this training, they've done this, and then it's a simple majority vote of the members present voting to say, yes, we move them to active, or no, we don't move them to active. If they do not move to active, then they are automatically rejected from the rescue squad. They have to stay out for a period of 1 year, and they can reapply. So that way it's a fair across the board because of all that.
But if you're going to allow them to just vote, not based on the qualifications, just based on whether I like you or not, then why do you have the qualifications in place to be met?
Because we have to abide by the state rules. We have to be, in order for them to be on a fire scene, they have to have that type of training. In order for us to let them operate the tools, the extrication tools, stuff like that, we have to either watch them operate the tools or we'd operate them ourselves, the one that are certified.
So, I'm still trying to figure out her question though. Is it based on the merits, or just if the members want them or don't like them, they don't get on?
It's pretty much based on a majority vote.
But the majority vote is not based on qualifications. It's basically a popularity contest. Whether I like you or not, whether I'm going to vote for you. If I've met the qualifications, I have exceeded the expectations, whether you like me or not is based on your vote. There is not, do you all have a paper to vote? Just, you vote yes or no, is that correct?
Yes or no.
Okay, so there's not a paper that basically would have my name on it and you check mark that I've done these things, so I should be voted on. If I haven't done these things, then obviously I don't deserve to be on the squad. Even though it is a volunteer-based organization funded by donations from our community, and I'm trying to help the community, but you don't like me, so you didn't vote me on.
That's the way it's been for years.
Then it needs to change.
It's a secret ballot vote. Nobody knows who voted for who. They've got a piece of paper in front of them. It may be a piece of notebook paper with their writing on it, and everybody, you go through and collect the votes, and then you read the votes at the end. And it's just the way it is. I mean, that's the way that the bylaws state, that you hold from moving from a probationary member to an active membership. And there's nothing, I mean, as far as that, I mean, the squad itself as a whole could vote to change those rules.
Well,
if
obviously your
wanted.
squad needs to do that. How many active members do you have under, say, 40 years old? How are we gonna have Jack Youngs here 30 and 40 years down the road if you don't give them a chance?
I understand what you're saying. I do. I express my concerns, and I do apologize for anything that's happened that you feel disgruntled about. But again, I can't bend rules. I just have to follow the rules. It's just like everything else. Just like federal government, just like county government, city government. You've got rules that you have to follow, and those have to be in place. Now, if the rules ain't fitted right, then then the organization as a whole needs to change the rules.
How often do you go over your bylaws and adjust them? We do that every 2 years with the program that I'm in. Make amendments.
The members look at them throughout the year. If we come up with a problem, we refer right back to them. If everything's going good, then we'll just leave it in place. But usually it's about once a year we go over. I mean,
Have you ever amended anything?
We have amended stuff in the past, just like when the county adopted to every department fire department in the county has to abide by the 1664 rule. Then we implement that in our training program. So it is what it is.
Would it be possible to change the voting paper to actually vote on qualifications?
You can, but that's a process also. You get somebody to draw it up, an attorney or whatever, set it out. You appoint a bylaw committee to review it. They review it. It comes before the squad and lays in there for 30 days for review. Then it also comes up for a vote to change.
So does the squad not have a bylaw committee right now?
You appoint them as needed. You don't have a standing
As
bylaw.
it comes up, you.
Yeah, if you see a rule that's sort of in conflict or something, then you appoint a bylaw committee and you do that.
That's what our organization is. We have a bylaw committee, but we have it every 2 years.
Yeah,
Right.
And
we appoint them as a change needs, is the way it's been done since I've been.
So if you're doing the training, like the fire training, shouldn't you already be in the squad before you have to go through some of that training? I would think.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be a member at probation or full-time or at full active or lifetime member, however. It's a double-edged deal though. If you say, well, we're not going to give you this training prior to you getting full active membership, then there you go. I mean, what if they don't show back up after you get active, and then you offer the training, but they don't have it, they don't take it, or they're busy, or
But
something?
what if they meet and exceed your expectations over the 6 months, and then you have some, I don't even want to call some of your members men, we'll call them boys, for whatever reason, chose not to vote some of these younger ones on that you need?
Like I said, I feel your concerns, I understand. What you're talking about happened to be me in 1994. I was done the same exact way. And Mr. Husky got done just the same night. They brought us both up. We had answered the call. We had took the training, done everything. And because I guess we didn't meet whatever they felt was necessary, and they decided that they would vote against us.
Okay, so someone should have looked at that vote at that time and changed that so it didn't happen again. That should have been looked at years ago then.
I understand that, but like I said, I mean, I can't remember what the vote was then, if it was by simple majority or 3/4 majority or what. I think at that time it might have been 3/4 majority. I don't know, that's been 30+ years ago, I guess, but,
When the people vote, do they have to be active, like actually showing up on calls and stuff, or can they just show up?
The way the voting works is if you miss 3 meetings in a row, then you forfeit your voting privileges for 1 meeting.
So they cannot go on any calls but come to the meetings and still vote for people?
Pretty much, yes.
So they wouldn't know how they would vote?
I was wondering,
That should be by law.
Right now, how many of these younger ones that's on there has actually showed up for their calls and everything, where they have, how many has half of them? Because half of them don't show up for nothing unless it's a wreck to be nosy to see who it is. And that's, so I just, how many calls do they miss? Can they just miss all they want and then just walk in and vote?
I mean,
They
that,
don't want to call, obviously.
yeah,
They just have to be at a meeting.
meeting.
They have to be at least the meeting prior to whatever's going on before. They have to miss at least 1 meeting without voting privileges, like I said, if they miss 3 meetings consecutively, they have to attend 1 meeting without voting privilege.
Okay,
So they
you
come,
miss all
if they
calls
come
and not
3,
be active, as long as you come to the meetings, then you gotta say so if you like somebody, if you don't like somebody,
So, in other words,
basically, right?
as she said a while ago, they're not men, they're not women that voted,
Okay.
they are children that voted.
I'm not a child, but I voted.
Well, I mean, the ones that voted against these younger ones to be put on there. So, in other words, if they didn't attend all these calls to see how these 2 attended, how well they was doing their service, how do they know they don't deserve to be on there? Because they just don't like them?
That's exactly what
like I
we
said,
don't like.
it is read off at the beginning, before they're voting on what they've done and their accomplishments through their 6-month probationary period. And then it's voted. I mean, that way, it's just how it is. I mean, we can't tell people how to vote.
So they can be on the rescue squad, not come to the meetings only, have their rescue squad plates, and not attend a brush fire, a car wreck, a help assistance with like Kansas started doing. Do none of the stuff that's mandatory, that's necessary for the community. But they can still come to vote. And that's not right.
If they continue.
I mean, look at my dad, he's been here 50-something years, and he's
61 years.
and he still comes.
And I applaud him. Hey, I do.
Hey, let me tell you, and he's not happy about not being able to attend and do stuff right now.
I understand that. I hear your concerns, but like I said, I mean, what has happened has happened. There's nothing I can do about all that.
Keith, what can be done to change this so it doesn't happen in the future? If we don't get these younger adults in and get them interested before they have all the responsibilities of families and jobs, and not saying some of them have jobs, but as far as full-time families, responsibilities, and you don't get that sense of pride for your community and volunteering in when you're young, it's a lot harder when you've got a family, you've got to worry about being at work and all that. What can be done to change this so it doesn't happen in the future? Your squad is going to fail if you do not allow some of these younger people on this squad. You guys are getting a little older, and you're not going to be able to keep taking all these calls.
I understand, like I said, I understand concerns, and I do sympathize with you. The only thing that could be done is a committee put together, look at it, but like I said, it has to be looked over, drawn up by an attorney, how this needs to be worded, then presented back to the squad, laid on the table 30 days, and then the squad itself vote to change it.
Does the squad have an attorney?
We have an attorney, yes, Mr. Pryor,
Big right.
Dick Pryor.
Do you not think that that needs to be looked at and amended or evaluated?
Like I said,
Well, your hospital is, they're talking about closing. And if your people don't show up for the calls, then Jellico is dying.
right.
And if you don't have some of, like Cheyenne and Luke and some of them, that are the younger ones. I know that there's a lot of other people that respond, but Marty can't do it all.
Exactly, like the other day, there was a brush fire. 2 people responded, Marty and somebody else. And I know some of these other members wasn't working, because some of them don't have jobs. So where was they at? They should have been with Marty.
And that's the thing, it's a volunteer organization, it's been that way since it was existence.
But you have people wanting to volunteer that we'll call them inactive members because they aren't responding to calls, are stopping people who want to respond and volunteer from being able to.
Like I said, it's a process that you go through. I mean, the fact of people getting voted off, there's nothing I can do to change that other than a bylaw committee be appointed and it be reviewed and rewritten and then laid on the table for 30 days and then the squad itself votes on it. And if it don't pass, it doesn't
Have
pass.
this be done before you have a voting? I mean, can't you wait 30 days or a month, 2 months before you vote for somebody off until you get these things changed?
We ain't got nobody up to vote right now.
Yeah, I mean, and it's still yet though, I mean, if
Who does the voting?
The
the squad members, present, live left,
So the
full
committee
time.
has no say-so?
No,
No.
So I have a question too. What is is there anything in the bylaws about somebody that that he gets approved by the members, leaves, comes back, wants to do it again multiple times? How many times can you actually do that? I mean, it's not right
Okay,
that,
now, let's see if I'm going the same way you're going. You said a member, like probationary member, come up, apply, do their stuff, get voted down, turn around, reapply,
no, he got voted on,
got voted on,
and then he quits,
and quit,
and he comes back again,
okay?
gets back on,
It's
quits.
important if the people like him or not, how many times
Well,
he does it.
Yeah. I
there's no stipulation on how many times that you can come in. I mean, I could come in and
But to
join an
me-
organization and then turn around a year later and quit.
To
And then
me,
come back 2 years later and rejoin it and then.
if I
it's
was a
just
member, which I'm not a member, I will say that, but I have been raised my whole entire life in this rescue squad. I've spent my childhood years right here in this building and upstairs in that building, along with you, and a lot more around here that I can say. And I never seen somebody leave and come back as much as one person has. And overlook some younger generation that wants to join. How can members accept to bring this one back again after multiple times and leave these younger generations out? That's willing, that wants it, that has it in their blood.
I understand, like I said, like I told